In New Hampshire, we have our heroes, men and women who personified true virtue. In the past decade, society has begun questioning the morality of our heroes. We've torn down statues. We've forgotten our history. Now is the time to examine our own heroes. What makes a hero, and what is true courage? Aristotle once wrote, "Courage is the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees the others." But what does a life of courage really look like? And what is the key to living a life of courage? Enter our hero, John Stark, born in Londonderry, New Hampshire, into a family of Scottish immigrants in 1728. Stark's early life would be far from easy. At this time, Amoskeag Falls was wilderness, and an area subject to rising national tensions between the British, French, and native tribes along the frontiers of the northern colonies. Despite this, Stark flourished, becoming an expert frontiersman at a young age. At the age of 24, Stark was hunting with his brother and two friends along a tributary of the Pemigewasset River when they ran into warriors of the Abenaki tribe. His friend was killed, and Stark was taken into captivity. In this time, Stark so impressed the warriors of the Abenaki tribe with his boldness and courage that in captivity they named Stark Young Sachem, which meant young chief. After being ransomed back from the Abenaki, Stark and his brother were hand-selected to become members of Rogers Rangers, an elite unit of frontiersmen and Mohican scouts whose sole purpose was to operate beyond the front lines in enemy territory. This placed Stark in battle after battle throughout the French and Indian War. In one particular battle, with Stark's leaders wounded or killed, and his comrades planning to withdraw, Stark took charge of his unit, refusing to retreat and holding the position until the wounded could travel 6 miles in deep winter snow back to Lake George. After the French and Indian War, Stark returned home to wed Molly Page and began having children in the ever-growing shadow of the impending Revolutionary War. With only 10 minutes' notice of the revolution, Stark answered the call, and within hours of that same day, Stark recruited an entire unit. In the first 2 years of the war, Stark bravely participated in most of its pivotal events. Stark fought at Bunker Hill, the invasion of Canada, crossed the Delaware with Washington to fight at Trenton and Princeton, and he even gave Washington advice. After a falling out with the Continental Army, Stark returned to New Hampshire, but remained true to the cause and raised a unit of New Hampshire militia, separate from the Continental Army. Stark, fearing a British invasion from the north, took up position in Bennington on a rainy August morning. At 1 p.m. the rain stopped, the clouds blew away, and the sun shone down on the British in the distance. Stark said, "There are your enemies, the Redcoats and the Tories. They are ours, or this night Molly Stark sleeps a widow." In the ensuing 5-day battle, Stark lost 30 men, while leading his unit to cause over 200 casualties and capture 700 of the British in a tactically brilliant disguised assault. After the war, Stark returned home to his wife and children, completely retiring from service in the public eye. Until 32 years later, when Stark wrote a speech for the anniversary of the Battle of Bennington in 1809. "This is the only chosen spot of liberty. This is the only republic on earth." And then, of course, those infamous words, "Live free or die. Death is not the worst of evils." And therein lies the secret. Perhaps, hidden in plain sight as our state's motto, is the answer to the question of how one can live such a life of true and lasting courage. One must live a life that recognizes death is not the greatest of evils, that some things are worth sacrificing for. Love of country, love of family, and love of neighbor. For when there are higher purposes worth dying for, then and only then can a person truly live free. And that seems like an idea worth setting in stone.